Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, come on, we have work to do. We have work to do. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's great to be with you. It's great to be with all of these incredible American leaders. And I want to thank the New Hampshire Democratic Party for all you do over so many years, all that you have done to inspire all of us around the country. I'm honored to be with you today, and I thank you for the work that you do. And I want to thank you in particular for sending Jeanne Shaheen and Maggie Hassan to the United States Senate. New Hampshire knows how to elect some really strong women. So, you know, listen, I think we all know this is a very particular moment in time, not to mention the fact that while we're all here working to talk about what we're going to do to fight for the America we believe in, the current president of the United States is golfing. So just do that split screen. Do gotta go. But let's just talk for a moment about where we are. I think we all know that this is a moment in time where the Democratic Party is leading not only on behalf of Democrats, but on behalf of all Americans. This is a moment in time, I think we all know, that is an inflection moment in the history of our country. This is a moment in time that is requiring us each, as individuals and collectively, to look in a mirror and ask a question. That question being, who are we? And I think we all know part of the answer to that question is we are better than this. So this is a moment in time that is requiring us to fight for the best of who we are, and fight Democrats we will. And this is not a new fight for us. I know over the course of the last 2.5 years, we've been despondent, we've been overwhelmed, we've been frustrated, we've been angry, but let us remember, every great achievement, progress that we have made as a nation came out of a good fight. We are up for a good fight. And I'll tell you, I come from a family of fighters. My parents met when they were active in the civil rights movement in the 1960s. My sister and I joke that we grew up surrounded by a bunch of adults who spent full time marching and shouting for this thing called justice. Just fighting for the ideals of our country, fighting for the principles of our country. That's what that was about. That's what this is about. I was raised by a mother who was all of 5 feet tall, but if you'd ever met her, you would have thought she was 10 feet tall, and she was tough. She'd say, Kamala, you're going to be judged based on the life you live of service, not self-service, but service to others. She would say, don't you ever let anyone tell you who you are, you tell them who you are. My mother would say, Kamala, you may be the first to do many things, make sure you're not the last. But she was tough. She was tough. If you ever came home complaining about something, our mother would look at you with a straight face, maybe one hand on a hip, and she'd say, well, what are you going to do about it? So I decided to run for president of the United States. There you go. talk about the current occupant of the White House for a second, because that's context. We got a guy in the White House who campaigned on a slogan about "Make America Great Again," which for many of us required the question again exactly from whom, and for all of us made it clear that dude was talking about going back to something. Back to what exactly, we asked? Back before the Civil Rights Act? Back before the Voting Rights Act? Back before Roe v. Wade? Back before the Americans with Disabilities Act? Back before Title IX? Because we're not going back. We are not going back. And he came in office, guys, promising people a whole lot of stuff. He promised working people that he was going to help them. He said, the manufacturing industry, I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you out. But now it's in a recession, right? We're looking at a recession. The only thing he's manufactured is chaos. And when you look at the record number of global crises that this guy has got us into, that's about the only thing that he can claim to be made in the USA. He promised people that he'd get them health care and then spent full time trying to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And now he's got a bunch of attorneys general in states around the country trying to get rid of the protections we created against pre-existing conditions, the protections we created so that our 26-year-olds could be on our health coverage. He made all kinds of promises. He said he was going to keep folks safe. Well, I'm going to tell you, I serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee. I serve on the Senate Homeland Security Committee. I meet on a regular basis with members of the American intelligence community. This guy's got us one tweet away from war. A so-called commander-in-chief who embraces dictators around the world because he does not understand that the true sign of strength is not based on who you beat down, it is based on who you lift up. Let's talk about the issue of safety. Let's talk about gun safety. Says he's going to protect the American people, and then he cowers in the face of the NRA. And we can thank Governor Sununu for taking some heed, apparently, and thinking that that's the way that a leader should lead. Well, no, that's not the way leaders lead. The way leaders lead is to protect our babies, be them elementary, middle, or high school students, and say to them, you should not have to endure those drills. We will protect you, and we will stand strong against the NRA and for reasonable gun safety laws, including universal background checks and a renewal of the assault weapons ban. We say we will protect our babies. That's what leaders do. So here's the thing. We have had to endure some powerful forces fanning the flames of hate. A president who is trying to sow hate and division among us. And I say, Democrats, in our march toward 2020, let's remember a couple of things. One, let's know with our hearts and with our souls, and let it fuel us, that in the face of those who are trying to divide, that we as Democrats know the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. No matter where you live, no matter your age, no matter your gender, no matter the God you love or pray to, the vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. And I'll tell you how I know it. I call it the 3 in the morning thought. You know when you wake up in the middle of the night with that thought that's been weighing on you? For the vast majority of us, when we wake up thinking that thought, it is never through the lens of the party with which we're registered to vote. For the vast majority of us, when we wake up thinking that thought, it is never through the lens of some simplistic demographic some pollster put us in. And for the vast majority of us, it has to do with one of just a very few things: our health, our children's safety, their ability to get an education and thrive, our ability to pay bills by the end of the month. The vast majority of us have so much more in common than what separates us. So let that fuel us in our march toward 2020. And finally, let us also remember one of the greatest strengths about who we are as a people and a nation is we by our nature are aspirational. We are a nation that was founded on noble ideals, present when we wrote the Constitution of the United States and all of its amendments, and the Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Independence, and those words we spoke in 1776, that we are all equal and should be treated that way. We are aspirational. We are also clear-eyed. We've not yet reached those ideals, but the strength of who we are is we fight to get there. And this, then, is a fight born out of optimism. This, then, is a fight born out of knowing and believing and having faith in what can be, unburdened by what has been. This is a fight not only for the soul of our country, this is a fight born out of love of country, and this is a fight, New Hampshire Democrats, that we will win. Thank you.